Alright guys, today in the shop we have a Progressive, it's a rough mower cutting unit. This is typically a unit you would pull behind with a tractor. It's got 5 decks on it, and these things are very well known for the belts falling off, especially if you're cutting and you raise the decks all the way up, and if you leave the blades on, the belts come off from time to time. Actually, they come off all the time. So this is just a quick tutorial on how to change the belt. You can see the unit here. Alright, and it is hooked up to the Kubota there. Now, the belt that we are changing, actually let me get you back to 0 here. Want to close that compartment. So what you want to do is you want to lift this up, and you're going to have 4, I took these out already, but you're going to have 4 bolts, 9/16. Now there is no nut on the other side, so you don't need a hold back wrench, but I loosened them up for the sake of the video, and I know how frustrated mechanics are and they just want to get the job done, so we're going to speed ahead. Take those 4 bolts off, and if I could do this with one hand, just lift up on this cover. There we go, and that will expose your belt there. Now you still have this cover here, so you're going to have 2 more 9/16 right here that you want to take off to remove this shield as well. Alright, so we have all the shields off now. This is actually the side that's missing the belt here on this side, which goes here, would go under here, and around here. Now, what you're going to have to do is start by taking these nuts and bolts out here, and this center bolt on this whole spindle right here. The spindle is, you're going to need to be able to move this freely to get the belts over this. So you want to start with these 2, and then we're going to take this spindle ball out. I got this bolt loose, and I got these loose. I didn't take them all the way out. So you can see this whole thing is wobbling now, and this spindle here, it's not, I didn't pull the bolt all the way out, alright, but this is sliding back and forth. What you want to do now is you have a tensioner right down here. If you pull up on that, it will, you can see, actually you can't see, but it will loosen the tension on this belt in the front, because you're going to need to get this off in order to get that other belt past it on, and then put this one back on. So I'm going to need 2 hands for that, but let me go around the other side. Alright, now, just so you can see the position, this is where we are. Come right down here, and there is your tensioner. Now you can get a pry bar or something and pry up on that, and that will loosen the tension on this front belt for you to take that off. Alright, so I was able to pull that off by pulling up on the tensioner. Now, if you don't want to let this belt drop down, because it will come off those pulleys down there, what I would do is get yourself a bungee cord, hook it right here, and then attach it to the front of the machine. Be very careful, that bungee cord snaps, it hit you in the face, or get a zip tie and just zip tie it right to this hose right here to hold that this belt in place, so that when you're ready and we put that back together, we can just unfree this and put it right back up. But if you let this drop, it will come off of those pulleys, and then you're going to be struggling to get this whole belt back on again, because it does come all the way down the front of the machine there. Now you can see I just zip tied the belt to that line there, and it's keeping some tension on it and keeping it on those pulleys below. We don't need to mess with that no more for right now. So what I'm going to do now, and I'll need 2 hands, but I want to explain to you, I'm going to put one hand holding this pulley, okay, and this bolt I had already loosened. So as I'm holding this, I am going to shimmy this bolt out with my hand. That will allow this pulley to come down, and you can pull it out this way. Now if you had to change this belt, that will allow you to take this belt off of there, and then you can put your new belt through onto here. Now the belt I'm changing that was missing was here, which goes over to this one. So I really only need to get my new belt over the front here and onto here. So I don't need to take this belt off, but I still need to pull this bolt out and drop this down so that I can get my new belt up here. I'm sorry, and onto here. All right, so I got my hand under here. I'm gonna pull this bolt out in the back. All right, I got my bolt out. Now this will pretty much just fall. And see, I can pull it forward now to get that spindle down to wrap my new belt around there. All right, so let's put my belt through here. There we go. All right, now we can lift this back up. All right, and we can put our bolt back through there that we had. Just like that. All right. All right, now we have that belt on there. We can come around here and we can undo our zip tie and fold this one back up around there. Don't tighten these up yet. Now I'm gonna need two hands because I am gonna have to pull on that tensioner again. Give me some tension to be able to put this back around there. All right, belt's back on. It was fairly easy. I didn't need a pry bar. I just kind of pulled up my hand and was able to slide the belt over that. All right, I am gonna leave this bolt and those bolts on the other side still loose in case I need a little bit of play in this to attach it to this side. Now on this side, same thing. You have a bolt going through this whole pulley here. Out the other side, I already took the nut off. Now I'm gonna loosen up these two. I got my bolts loose, or my nuts loose, but I didn't take them all the way off. I just kept them on about 2 threads on, just enough that I'll be able to wiggle this around. I have this nut off. Now what I want to do, just like we did with the other side, pull up on your tensioner and take this belt off, and we're gonna zip tie it to this line here. All right. All right, now on this one, you actually have this tensioner pulley that's also being held up by that bolt. So when you take this out, remember how this spring is and remember how your tensioner pulley is, because this is going to collapse with this pulley when you take this out. Now you're probably going to need some type of punch and tap that bolt out, and then all of this is going to drop. So take pictures, take video, whatever you need to remember exactly how this was. I got my bolt tapped through. I didn't take it all the way out. What you want to do now is just take this top bolt off of here that you have loosened. Alright? And what that's going to do, I will now be able to pull out on this bar and be able to pivot this bar this way. And I'll be able to slide this assembly off to get that belt on there. So we got my top bolt off on the bottom down here. Now I'm going to pull out. Well, my bottom bolt just fell off. Alright, so set this down here. Alright, so we're going to pull this pulley off of here. Like that. Now, we can bring our belt up. This belt doesn't seem to be fitting on here, but that is the way you put the belt on, so keep following the instructions. I have to go grab another belt. Alright, luckily I had another belt in the shop here, and I don't even know if this is the right belt, but I was able to get it around here, but lining this hole up here was a little bit difficult, but I did get it. I did actually have to get a hammer to drive that bolt through and line it all back up again. But it's on there, so now we can take this one we had in the front, pull up on the tensioner, put this one on, and go around and make sure your bolts on here are tight, and go ahead and tighten those back up on that side. And that will complete the installation of the putting the belt on the Progressive ProFlex 120. And a lot of the other belts sort of are the same way, replacing them. You're just going to have to remove some pulleys, and don't take things completely off. Leave them a little loose, because sometimes you don't need them all the way off. You just need them loose enough to slide the belt by. But that's it. Hopefully this helps somebody out there, and please, if you can hit subscribe below. I'm trying to get my subscribers up. Give me a like, and I'll see you guys next time.